Hey everyone. If there's one thing I've learned as I've gotten older, it's that the average person can be rather predictable. You can get to a point in your life where you're pretty accurate at predicting what people will do before they even do it. But along with that, you can also get really good at understanding people's actions to the point where you can kind of discern what isn't being communicated. And that is very, very helpful for ensuring your relationships stay strong, because you'll get a better glimpse into what problems could be happening and therefore have an idea of how to even tackle them, because you'll have awareness of what could be going on. So I want to talk about that in this video, because to me, this is like one of the most, the biggest cheat codes you could have in life is just being able to better predict and understand human behavior. And you can pretty much do that using one of two things: life experience and just knowing more about human psychology. So obviously, life experience is something that you'll just gain over time that will help you understand people's behavior in certain situations, because you'll have encountered those situations so many times that you just know the way people tend to act in them. So that's one way that can help you with this concept. The other one, just learn more about human psychology. That is incredibly helpful, because that's something you could do at any given time. You don't need to wait to experience more of life for that one. You can start learning about it now. Just start looking into videos on YouTube about psychology, or reading books about it, whatever you can get your hands on to learn more about human behavior, because that on its own is incredibly helpful for understanding why people act in the ways that they do. And with that, you'll get to a place where you can start to predict what they may do in the future, because you understand their personality in the here and now. That, for instance, a great example of this would be, you can usually, when you're driving somewhere, pay attention to someone's driving behavior for about a minute or so and get a good idea of how they'll likely drive in the future based off that. So if you see someone kind of speeding, they're driving faster than most people, just from that alone, you can probably predict, okay, this person may be on the selfish side. They're probably going to drive in such a way that benefits them, even if it screws other people over, because they're trying to get wherever they are going as quickly as possible, and they don't even care about their own safety. They're just trying to get to that place immediately. So that, when you witness that, you'll think, okay, there's a high likelihood this person could cut other people off, or even cut me off, or if they end up behind me, they'll probably tailgate me. It just gives you insight into their future behavior, and quite often you'll find you're pretty accurate with it as well. So that's a great example of this playing out in your life. But then on the other side of not so much predicting people's behavior, but more so trying to understand their behavior and what may not be communicated, that can play out in relationships. And a great example of this is the dreaded case of your partner no longer being as intimate with you. This happens so often in relationships, more so marriages that have been around for a long time. And it's a really sad thing, but it's very common. So to dive into that one, if your partner stops being intimate with you, that can reveal that there may be a few things at play here. There could be a need that isn't being met, and they're not communicating it with you for whatever reason, which is immature, but I won't even get into that. That's, people should communicate. They need to let you know when there's something wrong, but quite often people aren't in healthy relationships where they have that open, honest communication. So that's a really common thing. They could be dealing with some problems of their own that make it so they don't want to be intimate. Maybe they're feeling a bit depressed, so it's literally affecting their mental health, making them more sluggish and tired all the time, so they don't have the energy to engage in it. Or there could be more sinister things at play, and they could be cheating. And since if someone is cheating, they're getting their physical needs met. So then when you want to get yours met with them, they may be less likely to oblige, because they have already gotten that need met from someone else, and they don't feel the need to help you get yours met because they don't need theirs met simultaneously. Does that make sense? I'm probably not explaining it well. But basically, if they're getting laid and you want to get laid with them, they're not going to have the need to get laid anymore. It was already met, so they're going to be less likely to want to engage in that with you, because they've already had their cake pretty much. So there you go. That's something that can happen, and you just start to understand these things the more that you understand human nature, human psychology, and just have a better idea of what people do in certain situations, because that cheating one is very common. So that's why I would I mean, being completely honest here, if I was in a relationship with a woman and she stopped being intimate with me at some point, that would probably be my first thought, because I would hope she would communicate if I wasn't meeting a need of hers or something else like that was going on. So if she just outright stops engaging in that with me, my first thought would probably be, she's cheating, she's getting that need met from someone else, and I need to find out very quickly whether or not that assumption is true, because if it is, there's no future here and I'm gone. So yeah, those are just some examples of how learning more about human psychology and then just gaining more life experience can help you predict people's behavior, or at least understand it, so that you can kind of delve or dig deeper when people aren't expressly communicating what could be affecting them. Human psychology will help you far more than life experience, so definitely take the time to learn as much as possible about that. That's the biggest thing that has helped me, and why I'm at this point where I'm pretty accurate in predicting what people will do, or just even understanding what's bothering them or why they make the decisions they make. I'm pretty good at telling when people are lying to me and themselves, which that one really sucks, because I always want to call them out, but there are some situations where you don't know the person on that level, or should I say your relationship isn't on that level where you can be that honest with them. But yeah, so learn as much about human psychology as possible, and then just create as many life experiences as you can, so you just start to understand what people do in certain situations. And there you go. That will be like a cheat code for getting through life, because it'll help you be basically a detective of human behavior. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.